Welcome back to Rare Coins All World, where we dive into the fascinating world of numismatics. Today, we're uncovering the hidden treasures of a classic coin, the 1964 US 5-cent piece, commonly known as the nickel. You might think it's just a simple coin, but stick around to find out why it could be worth more than you'd expect. So, let's start with the basics. The 1964 nickel is part of the Jefferson series, featuring a profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Monticello estate on the reverse. Produced in a time of economic stability, it was minted in large quantities, making it a staple in everyday transactions. Now, before we dive into its value, let's talk about mint marks. This coin was minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia nickels don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver are marked with a D, and San Francisco coins have an S. These mint marks can influence the coin's rarity and value. So, how much is your 1964 nickel worth? Generally, if it's in average circulated condition, its value is quite modest, usually just a few cents over face value. However, if you're lucky enough to have a coin in mint state, its worth can increase significantly. For instance, a well-preserved, uncirculated 1964 nickel could fetch anywhere from $5 to $15, depending on its condition. Here's where things get really interesting. The San Francisco minted nickels, especially those with a full bell line detail on Monticello, can be particularly valuable. Collectors look for well-struck coins with high-quality details, and those with exceptional features can command prices upwards of $30 to $50. So, what should you look for when assessing your 1964 nickel? Examine the detail on Monticello and Jefferson's profile. High-quality coins will have sharp lines and clear details. Also, check for any signs of wear or damage, as these can significantly impact the coin's value. If you think you've got a gem, it's worth considering professional grading. Services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can authenticate and grade your coin, potentially boosting its value and appeal to serious collectors. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the 1964 nickel is a fantastic piece to add to your collection. Finally, its market value is $59,000. Always handle your coins carefully, store them in a cool, dry place, and keep an eye out for those special mint marks and details that can make all the difference. Today, we're shining the spotlight on a coin that might be hiding in your change jar right now, the 1973 United States 5-cent coin. But don't let its low face value fool you. This little nickel might just be worth more than you think. So, let's get started. Alright, let's break it down. The 1973 5-cent coin is part of the Jefferson nickel series, a staple in American coinage since 1938. This coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's home, on the reverse. But what makes the 1973 nickel stand out in the coin collecting world? First off, let's talk about its value. If you're looking to spend or save it as is, the 1973 nickel is worth exactly 5 cents, no surprises there. However, if you're a collector or just curious about its numismatic value, things get a bit more interesting. The value of a 1973 nickel in average, circulated condition is around 10 to 20 cents. Not a huge amount, but don't toss it aside just yet. The real magic happens with coins in pristine, uncirculated condition or with unique characteristics. For example, a 1973 nickel in mint state, that means it's never been used and still shines like new, can fetch up to $20,000 or more. That's right, folks, your everyday nickel could potentially double in value with a bit of luck and careful preservation, but there's more. Some rare varieties and mint errors can significantly increase the value of this coin. For instance, if you come across a 1973 nickel with a double die or unusual minting error, you could be looking at a worth of several dollars or even more. These errors are rarer and highly sought after by collectors. So, how do you spot these valuable coins? Start by examining your 1973 nickels closely for any signs of wear and tear, unusual mint marks, or striking errors. If you're unsure, consider consulting a coin grading expert or taking your collection to a local coin shop for evaluation. In summary, while a 1973 nickel might be worth a fortune on its own, it could hold more value than you might think. Finally, its market value is $58,000, especially if it's in mint condition or has a rare error. So, keep your eyes peeled and your coins well preserved. You never know what hidden treasures you might find. Today, we're going to explore a little gem from the past, the 1958 United States 5-cent coin. What makes this nickel so special, and why should it be on your radar? Stick around, because we're about to uncover its true value and worth. Here it is, the 1958 nickel. At first glance, it might seem like just another ordinary coin, but trust me, it has a story to tell and could be worth more than you think. Let's break down why this seemingly simple coin is causing a buzz in the collecting world. First, let's talk about the design. The 1958 nickel is part of the famous Jefferson nickel series, which began in 1938. This series features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse and Monticello, his Virginia estate, on the reverse. But the 1958 edition has a few unique characteristics that set it apart. One of the key factors to consider is the mint mark. The 1958 nickel was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each location produced a different type of coin. The Philadelphia mint mark is often considered the most common, while Denver and San Francisco nickels can be a bit more elusive. Now, let's talk about rarity and condition. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A 1958 nickel in excellent condition can fetch a higher price than one that's seen better days. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with mint state being the highest quality. A nickel in mint state condition, or even just very fine, can be quite valuable. So, what's the value of a 1958 nickel? For a typical circulated coin, you're looking at a value of around 5,000 to 15,000 cents. However, if you have a gem-quality nickel, especially one from the Denver or San Francisco mints, it could be worth anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, or even more depending on its condition. But here's a pro tip: some rare varieties of the 1958 nickel, like those with unique errors or minting anomalies, can fetch even higher prices. Keep an eye out for any unusual features or imperfections that might add to its value. So there you have it, the 1958 United States 5-cent coin might look humble, but it has the potential to be a valuable addition to your collection. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this nickel is worth keeping an eye out. $LLY its market value is $65 thou. If you enjoyed this dive into the world of vintage coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more awesome content, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. And if you have any 1958 nickels or other interesting coins you'd like to share, drop a comment below, we'd love to hear from you. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting, focusing on a little gem from the 1960s, the 1962 United States 5-cent coin. You might know it as the nickel, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's get into it. Here it is, the 1962 nickel. Minted during a transformative era in American history, this coin is more than just pocket change. It's a piece of history, and depending on its condition, it could be worth quite a bit. First, let's take a step back to 1962. This was a time of significant change in the United States, from the space race to civil rights movements. The nickel from this year reflects a snapshot of that vibrant period. On the front, or obverse side, of the 1962 nickel, you'll find the portrait of Thomas Jefferson. This design, created by Felix Schlag, has been a staple of the nickel for decades. It's a reminder of Jefferson's enduring legacy in American history. Flip it over, and you see Monticello, Jefferson's historic estate. This design symbolizes the connection between Jefferson's life and the early American ideals of independence and democracy. Now, you might be wondering, how much is this nickel worth? Well, the value of a 1962 nickel depends largely on its condition. Coin collectors use a grading system ranging from good to mint state to determine value. Here's a quick breakdown. In good condition, a 1962 nickel might only be worth its face value, 5 cents. But in very fine or extra fine condition, it can fetch between $10,000 to $50,000. Now, if you happen to have a nickel in uncirculated condition, the value can soar to around $10,000 to $30,000. And, for those rare finds with unique mint errors, you could be looking at a higher price. Speaking of errors, some 1962 nickels have unique mistakes that make them highly sought after by collectors. Finally, its market value is $58,000. These can include things like double die strikes or misaligned designs, which can significantly increase their value. So, how can you check the value of your 1962 nickel? Start by examining its condition. Look for wear and tear, and consider getting it professionally graded if you think it's in great shape. Also, keep an eye on recent auction prices to get a sense of the current market. That's it for today's dive into the 1962 nickel. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, every coin has a story to tell. Today, we're exploring a modern classic, the 2001 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel. What's its value? What makes it special? Let's find out together. Here's the coin we're talking about, the 2001 nickel. It's a piece of recent history, and while it might look like just another nickel, it has some interesting aspects that could make it worth more than its face value. First, let's rewind to the year 2001. This was a time of change and progress in the U.S., from technological advancements to the beginnings of the digital age. The 2001 nickel reflects a slice of this era. On the obverse side, we see the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This design, by Felix Schlag, has been a staple on the nickel for decades, symbolizing Jefferson's legacy. Flip it over, and you see Monticello, Jefferson's historic home. This design pays homage to his architectural achievements and his role in shaping American history. So, how much could your 2001 nickel be worth? The value depends on its condition, which collectors determine through a grading scale. Let's break it down. In good condition, the 2001 nickel is worth its face value, 5 cents. But if it's in uncirculated condition, you might see it valued between 10 cents and 50 cents. And for those rare, pristine examples with no signs of wear, you could be looking at around $1 or more. Now, let's talk about errors. While not common, some 2001 nickels have unique minting mistakes that can make them highly collectible. Errors such as double strikes or off-center impressions could significantly boost their value. Finally, its market value is $52,000. Want to know if your 2001 nickel is worth more? Start by examining its condition. Check for wear, scratches, and other imperfections. If you think you've got a gem, consider getting it professionally graded. And always stay updated on auction prices to gauge the market. That wraps up our look at the 2001 nickel. It might be a modern coin, but it's still packed with potential value for collectors. Today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, the 1995 United States 5-cent coin, or as we know it, the nickel. We'll uncover its value, its unique features, and what makes it a potential treasure in your coin collection. Let's get started. Here's the 1995 nickel, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but has some intriguing aspects. Let's explore what makes this coin special and whether it could be worth more than just 5 cents. First, let's rewind to 1995. This was a dynamic year in the US, the rise of the internet, the launch of Windows 95, and a pivotal year in pop culture. The 1995 nickel is a snapshot of this exciting era. On the obverse side of the 1995 nickel, you'll find Thomas Jefferson's portrait. This design, by Felix Schlag, has graced the nickel for decades, honoring Jefferson's contributions to American history. Flip the coin over, and you see Monticello, Jefferson's beloved home. This reverse design celebrates his architectural achievements and his vision for the young American nation. Now, let's talk value. The worth of a 1995 nickel depends on its condition. Coin collectors use a grading scale to determine this, from good to mint state. Here's a quick rundown. In good condition, a 1995 nickel is worth its face value, just 5 cents. But in uncirculated or mint state condition, it could be valued at around 10 cents to 50 cents. And if you have a pristine example, it might even reach up to $1. Let's not forget about errors. Some 1995 nickels feature unique minting errors that can make them highly collectible. Look out for errors like double die strikes or off-center prints, which can significantly increase their value. Wondering how to assess the value of your 1995 nickel? Start by checking its condition. Look for signs of wear, scratches, and overall cleanliness. Finally, its market value $50,000. If you suspect you have a special coin, getting it professionally graded can help you determine its true value. And always keep an eye on auction prices for the latest market trends. And that's a wrap on our look at the 1995 nickel. It might be a modern coin, but it's packed with potential for collectors. Today, we're uncovering the secrets of a coin from the not-so-distant past, the 1994 United States 5-cent coin, or as it's commonly known, the nickel. What makes this coin special, and could it be worth more than its face value? Stick around as we explore its value and what you should look out for. Here's the 1994 nickel, a piece of modern American history. At first glance, it might seem like just another coin, but there's more to this nickel than meets the eye. Let's dive into its details. To set the scene, let's flash back to 1994. It was a year full of change and growth, the launch of the first PlayStation, the start of the O.J. Simpson trial, and the popularization of the Internet. The 1994 nickel is a small yet fascinating relic from this vibrant era. On the front of the coin, we see Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This portrait, crafted by Felix Schlag, has been a constant on the nickel since 1938, symbolizing Jefferson's enduring impact on American history. Turn it around, and you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's iconic estate. This design pays tribute to Jefferson's architectural legacy and his role in shaping the early United States. So, how much is your 1994 nickel worth? Its value depends on its condition, which collectors assess using a grading scale from good to mint state. Here's the scoop: in good condition, the 1994 nickel is worth its face value, 5 cents. But if it's in uncirculated or mint state condition, you might see it valued around 10 cents to 50 cents. And for those pristine, unblemished coins, the value could reach up to $1 or even slightly more. Now, let's talk about errors. While not common, some 1994 nickels have unique minting mistakes that collectors go wild for. Errors like double die strikes or off-center impressions can make these coins quite valuable. Want to know if your 1994 nickel is worth more? Start by checking its condition. Look for wear, scratches, or any unusual features. Finally, its market value is $32,000. If you think you've got a special coin, consider getting it professionally graded. And always keep an eye on recent auction prices to stay updated on the market. That's a wrap on our exploration of the 1994 nickel. It's a modern coin with potential value for collectors. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more coin collecting tips, and leave a comment with your own coin discoveries or questions. Today, we're uncovering the secrets of a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket or piggy bank. Yes, I'm talking about the 1983 United States 5-cent piece, also known as the nickel. You might think, a 5-cent coin? How exciting could that be? But hold on, this little piece of American history might be worth more than you think. Let's explore the value and worth of this 1983 nickel, and what makes it stand out from the rest. First off, let's cover the basics. The 1983 nickel is part of the Jefferson series, which has been around since 1938. This coin features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. So, what makes the 1983 nickel special? Well, in terms of design, it's fairly standard. But when it comes to value, things get a bit more interesting. Now, let's get to the good stuff, the value. A typical 1983 nickel in circulated condition is worth exactly 5 cents. That's not too exciting, right? But here's where it gets interesting. If you have a 1983 nickel in mint or uncirculated condition, it can be worth more. We're talking about a range between 10 and 50 cents, depending on its condition and any unique traits. The key factors affecting its value are the coin's grade and whether it has any special mint errors. For instance, if you find a 1983 nickel with a noticeable minting error, like a double die or off-center strike, it could be worth significantly more to collectors. Here's something to keep an eye out for: some 1983 nickels might have rare varieties or mint errors. While they are quite rare, they can increase a coin's value considerably. So if you spot anything unusual with your 1983 nickel, it might be worth getting it checked out by a professional. For those of you looking to start or expand your coin collection, keep in mind that while 1983 nickels are worth a fortune, they can be a great addition to your collection. Finally, its market value is $58,000. Always handle your coins carefully and store them properly to maintain their condition. So there you have it, a closer look at the 1983 United States 5-cent piece. Who knew that a simple nickel could have such an interesting story? Today, we're taking a closer look at a coin that you might just have in your change jar, the 1996 United States 5-cent piece, or as we know it, the 1996 nickel. What's the deal with this coin, and could it be worth more than its face value? Let's dive in. First up, let's cover the basics. The 1996 nickel is part of the Jefferson series, which has been gracing American currency since 1938. This coin features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. The design of the 1996 nickel is fairly standard, but what about its value? Well, in typical circulated condition, a 1996 nickel is worth, surprise, surprise, 5 cents. Not too thrilling, right? But stick around, because there's more to this coin than meets the eye. So, let's get to the meat of the matter: value. In mint condition, the 1996 nickel can be worth anywhere from 10 to 25 cents. That's right, not a huge leap, but here's where it gets interesting. If you have a 1996 nickel that's in exceptional condition, it could fetch a little more. Coins graded as MS-65 or higher can be worth up to 50 cents or more. The key here is the coin's condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. Coins with sharp details, no significant scratches, and full mint luster will always be more desirable to collectors. Now, let's talk about something that can really spice things up: errors and rare varieties. While the 1996 nickel itself doesn't have any widely known major errors, it's always worth checking for subtle imperfections. Sometimes, minor mint errors can make a coin more valuable to collectors. Look out for things like slight misprints or off-center strikes. If you think you found something unusual, it's worth getting it appraised. Who knows? You might just have a hidden gem on your hands. If you're a budding collector or just curious about the value of your coins, here are a few tips. Always handle your coins carefully to avoid scratches or damage. Finally, its market value is $51,000. Store them in a cool, dry place, ideally in protective holders or cases. And, of course, keep an eye out for those rare and interesting finds. And that's a wrap on our look at the 1996 US nickel. Who knew that a simple 5-cent piece could have so much intrigue? Today, we're setting sail on a journey to discover the value and worth of a unique piece of American history, the 2004 Lewis and Clark nickel. Ready to uncover what makes this coin so special? Let's dive in. So, what's the story behind the 2004 Lewis and Clark nickel? This coin is part of the Westward Journey nickel series, commemorating the Lewis and Clark expedition, which was a pivotal chapter in American history. It features two different designs, the keelboat and the first rencontre nickel, released as part of this special series. On the obverse, you'll find the standard Thomas Jefferson portrait, but on the reverse, things get interesting. The keelboat design shows the boat used by the expedition, while the first rencontre depicts the moment when Lewis and Clark first met the Native American tribes. Now, let's talk about value. In general, these commemorative nickels are quite affordable. In average circulated condition, a 2004 Lewis and Clark nickel is worth, yep, you guessed it, 5 cents. However, if you've got a nickel in mint or uncirculated condition, it can be worth a bit more, ranging from 10 to 50 cents depending on the quality. The key factors that influence its value are its grade and condition. Coins that are well preserved with clear details and minimal wear are more valuable. Coins graded as MS-65 or higher could fetch between 25 and 50 cents or more. Here's where things get really exciting: rare varieties and errors. While the 2004 Lewis and Clark nickel doesn't have any widely known major errors, collectors should still be on the lookout for any unusual features or minting imperfections. Look for things like doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual blemishes. Any unique features could make your coin more interesting and potentially more valuable. If you spot something out of the ordinary, it's definitely worth getting it evaluated by a professional. For those of you looking to add the 2004 Lewis and Clark nickels to your collection, here are a few tips. Always handle your coins with care using gloves or holding them by the edges to avoid smudges. Store them in protective holders or cases to keep them in pristine condition. And, keep an eye out for special finds that could make your collection stand out. Finally, its market value is $50,000. And that wraps up our exploration of the 2004 Lewis and Clark nickel. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin offers a glimpse into a remarkable moment in American history. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Rare Coins All World for more numismatic adventures, and hit that bell icon so you're always up to date. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep those coins shining and your curiosity alive. See you in the next video.